Alright everyone, take a seat quickly. This genuinely can't wait. I'm so excited to share this with you. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but there's a picture that I need to share. Throw up there. Look at it. Honestly, never thought I'd see the day that I'd see one of the world's best players and Gareth Bale in the same photo. That is genuinely beautiful.
Glorious. No, I won't give in till I'm victorious.
Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are finally back with another brand new video. Today's video we have finally just slapped a couple of stories together, you know what I mean, a wee bit of content. I've stitched it here, and now we have today's video. But before we get anywhere near that, I just want to thank you so much for all the support over the weekend. Obviously that was the charity match. We're going to speak in a lot more detail in the next couple of days on the channel with highlights and a couple of recaps and a couple of people's opinions that was actually involved in the game, so that will be all coming later on in the week. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much. It's genuinely incredible. As it stands just now, it's not finalised by any means, but it looks like we've raised around about £3,000 just for Sam H's charity alone, and that is truly incredible. Thank you so much. But it genuinely has been like 4 or 5 days since the last upload, so let's just dive into the Rangers news then, shall we? 3, 2, 1. Story number 1 then, it's going to be none other than the international player recaps. We've done this a couple of times throughout the year, obviously whenever players go to international duty. I know we all begrudge international duty, but it's always interesting to see how the Rangers players get on with their national team and see if they can replicate that form, or even in some cases, which we'll speak about later on, is just flip their form and play tremendously well for their country. Now let's turn our attention to the very first player that we are going to be speaking about during the international roundups, and there's, if I'm honest, there's only going to be one player, and it's none other than Mr. Glen Kamara. Fun fact, do you know he only costs 50k? Some people don't. I like to keep you informed. That way, just in case you don't like the video and you don't like me, you've left better than what you've came. You now have a wee bit of trivia for you. Kamara, 50k. That's 10. Now, all joking aside, we actually have to just appreciate Glen Kamara because he truly is a terrifically talented football player, and he's just translating everything he's been doing the last couple of months with the Glasgow Rangers since he's walked in the door, not putting one foot wrong in 17 games for Rangers. Now he's strolling it for Finland. I mean, you look at Finland, right? They were clear underdogs going into that game versus Bosnia, and they completely ran the show. And Glen Kamara was honestly the best player on the park. And don't just take my word for it, just look at the stats and how he left that game. He finished with 93% pass accuracy. He finished with 100% duel ones. That's 9 duels he had, like shoulder to shoulder, sort of coming into a tackle with someone. He won every single one he was involved in. He created one chance and it turned into an assist, and that is how he actually finished the game. It's a truly terrific performance from Glen Kamara, and his profile is just getting higher and higher and higher. That's why you're hearing like teams like Brighton's look at him, and some Premier teams are now looking at Glen Kamara. In fact, he's playing so well right now. He was actually asked after yesterday's performance about these rumours, and this is what Glen Kamara had to say. Rumours are a part of football, but nothing concrete has happened. It is just speculation. Yes, it is my dream to play in the Premier League, but at the moment I am happy to play for Rangers. It has been a long journey for me in my career, and now I play for a club like Rangers. It was a tough season and I had to prove myself at Rangers. I have developed a lot mentally. It's a big challenge to play in front of the fans. They have high demands, but I like that. Which, by the way, I'm going to finish the rest of the quote in a minute. I really rate that he relishes that challenge. How many good players have we seen come up and play for Rangers and they just can't handle it? Glen Kamara lives on it. And he continues with, I am really enjoying playing for Rangers, and getting praise from a manager like Steven Gerrard feels really good. Sometimes it is crazy that he's my manager. You look at the dugout and see him, you have to calm down and not think about it too much in your mind. And that's where we're going to end the quote there. It does go on, he speaks about other things that he's happy with and what he's learning at Rangers, but I will link it down in the description if you'd like to read the rest. But you can just see from Glen Kamara, he clearly is just enjoying playing his football, and he loves playing it at Rangers. And the perfect way to finish up speaking about Glen Kamara, because I could genuinely sit and day all day, is the Finnish account tweeted out after the match, just talking about how staggering his overall performance was. They picked him out as the overall standout and a terrific team performance over Bosnia. Glen Kamara, tremendous, son. And now that we've spoken about Mr. Consistent, let's flip it and jump on the other end of the scale and speak about Borna Barisic. So that's right, he's been very hit and miss throughout the entire season. Hit for the most of the start, then got a couple of injuries, but once again BB has turned out another very solid performance out for Croatia. He is now their established starting left back for the World Cup finalists, and he honestly doesn't look at who plays. He was up against Gareth Bale and he never gave Gareth Bale a sniff at the goal. Honestly, Now, it wasn't man of the match material like he had been in the previous game versus Croatia that we spoke about in the last international recap, but it was just a very solid performance from Borna Barisic, something we haven't seen in a Rangers shirt for a very long time. He just looks a lot more comfortable in playing for Croatia. I think he knows his role a lot more, and I think he's comfortable in that role. Yes, he does get forward, but it's not every single time like he's required to at Rangers, like get forward and bomb forward. It's now and again he sort of picks his own ways, and again he's much more defensively strong playing for Croatia. It's completely strange, but again it shows there is a terrific player in Borna Barisic. We just need to find it and unlock a way to show it week in and week out for the Glasgow Rangers, and if we do, we have Borna on one side and Tavernier on the other. That will be the best full-back combination in the country. Now let's move over to our brothers over in the Northern Ireland squad. They picked up a very impressive 2-1 win over Estonia as well. We obviously had captain Stephen Davis. Now, Davis was sitting a wee bit deeper than he normally does for Northern Ireland. I mean, he was playing more our role, you know what I mean? That player is just sitting behind the midfield. It just dictates play and picks off the tempo. Just sits in front of the back four. It's not over exuberant. He wasn't required to go box to box and absolutely run his pan, and no, it was a much more composed, sit in the middle of the park and just control the entire game. It was a very solid performance from the captain of Northern Ireland, and to be honest with you, it was a perfect captain performance. He never put a foot wrong. Now, unlike the last couple of international recaps that we have done, we have then went on to speak about Kyle Lafferty, but Kyle Lafferty was not involved in the game, but another Rangers player was, and I think we can officially call him now a Rangers player, and that's going to be none other than Mr. Jordan Jones. Now, Jordan Jones played about 17-18 minutes in the game, came off the bench, and I can honestly sit here and say, from what I've seen of the 17 minutes that he played, he was the best player on the park. His appetite just to run at fullbacks, I mean, yes, he came on off the bench, so he's got a lot more energy than the defenders that he's running up against. I completely understand if you still want to do the argument, but it's still on the sub to make the impact, and he certainly did that. Every single time he got the ball, he was direct, he was physical, and he wanted to get forward. For me, Jordan Jones, again, for the 17 minutes was the best player on the park, and if that's the Jordan Jones that's going to be coming into Rangers in just about 3 or 4 weeks time, we are going to be very, very lucky, and it's going to be a fight to see who's starting if he's going to continue that form. Now, before we wrap up story number 1 and jump over to story number 2, Stephen Davis was actually asked about Jordan Jones and the Glasgow Rangers, and this is what Stephen Davis had to say. In the last couple of internationals, Jordan has put in 2 very strong performances. Obviously, it was a bit frustrating he wasn't getting game time towards the end of the season with Kamara, with his situation there, having signed for us. He'll be looking to come in and make an impact. He has looked bright in training all this week, and it will be a big step up for him, but he will be ready for it. So I genuinely want to ask you a question. Now, you're hearing from Stephen Davis, and if you watched that game, you saw how good Jordan Jones can be when he's on it. Has it changed your opinion at all on Jordan Jones? Because I know it's still split right down the middle. Some people like me are kind of excited to see what Jordan Jones will do with the opportunity to play, but other people just don't think it's a good enough signing. So now you've seen a wee bit more, you've heard from Stephen Davis. What's your thoughts on Mr. Jordan Jones? And now that me and thee have had their say regarding Jordan Jones, let's turn our attentions and reflect on the entirety of story number 1. Out of all the Rangers players who played, who was the one that impressed you the most? That was the question we asked Twitter, so let's jump over and hear from the people. Start off with the very first one. It comes in from Sarah. She writes, Jordan Jones and Glen Kamara. Paul Butler says Barisic for me, just because it's surprised to see the same player that's been ranked rotten for us not looking out of place in one of the best international sides in the world. Kevin Wakeham says it has to be Glen Kamara and Jordan Jones. Kamara has the potential to be a midfield general in the future, and Jones as a fresh sub will give defenders the fright of their lives. And the last 2 we'll read out. The first one comes in from Philip Ewan McGregor, and he writes in Ryan Jack. Oh wait, I'd say Jordan Jones. Well played, son. Well played. We had to find a way to get Ryan Jack in there. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Deacon Neil writes in, watch the Finland game versus Bosnia game, and I'm telling you, whoever got the deal for Glen Kamara should wear a mask and a striped jumper, because it's the steel the lad controlled and strolled the entire game. Now, moving away from the international duty, let's jump over to story number 2, and it's regarding Mr. Ryan Kent. This is by far the thing I see in the comment section the most. Talk about Ryan Kent. We didn't care about this. We didn't care about this. We want Ryan Kent news, CJ. What is happening? Now, as I'm currently recording today's video, in this exact moment of time, there's been nothing concrete regarding Ryan Kent to the Glasgow Rangers. However, the door has been well and truly blown off. I'll stop doing that. Blown off the hinges, as Aston Villa, it's been wildly reported that Aston Villa are no longer trying to buy Ryan Kent on a permanent transfer. Instead, they started talking about a loan deal, which Liverpool aren't interested in loaning one of their up-and-coming young talented football players to another player in the same league. If they are going to be loaning Ryan Kent, the preferred destination is Mr. Stevie G, and that is at Glasgow Rangers. And if you've been following this channel for a couple of weeks now, I've just been sitting here quite quietly confident that Ryan Kent will go to the Glasgow Rangers. The only team I was worried about was Aston Villa when they got promoted, if they were going to splash a bit of that moolah and buy Ryan Kent. But the fact that they are now looking for a loan, I think Ryan Kent will be a Rangers player very, very shortly. And that brings me to point 5 of story number 2, and it's some people are now asking, will we get Ojo, or is the Ojo deal dead? No, it's been pretty much confirmed that Rangers are pursuing both players. They want both Ryan Kent and Ojo at the club next season. If that happens, imagine how many free kicks we're going to win with the hammer throwers around this league. And now we've reached the third and final part of this week's Rangers Roundup, and as always, it is not picked by me, it's picked by one of the people on Twitter for us to get our thoughts and opinions. And this week's comes in from Kovac, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's at KOVAQQ, and he writes in, would you take Rosser and Docherty in or loan them back out? And I think that's a fantastic question, because you see the options. You see Arabor about to come in, that's another midfield player. What do you do with Greg Docherty and Jordan Jones? Two players with a lot of potential and who have used the loan system in the last season to improve. So could they spend another season out on loan? What's your thoughts? Let me know down there in the comment section below. And with that being said, that's going to be the end of this week's Rangers Roundup. Hopefully you did enjoy it enough to be smashing that like button, and again subscribing if you are new to the channel. The subscription is down there, it's free and it doesn't cost you anything. I've been CJ Over 92, thanks so much for watching, and bye.